Which of the following statement in relation to the P53 tumor suppression gene is false? That means which is true, not true regarding the P53 gene. Here the options. Options are: it may induce necrosis of the cell with non-repairable DNA damage. It is affected in Lee-Romanes syndrome. It can induce DNA repair. It can halt cell cycle, and it may inhibit angiogenesis. The P53 gene is a wonderful gene, and this gene is known as the guardian of the genome. That means it is the guardian of all genome. So P53, what it can do? So in the cell cycle, is there is any problem, first of all, it can stop the any type of the cell cycle. Second of all, it can repair or regenerate. So first of all, this is the stop the cell cycle. The second one, it can repair and regeneration of the cell cycle also. And when there is not possible to repair in this condition, it causes the destruction of the cell. So the P53 gene, it can do anything for a cell unless it undergone mutation. So when there is no mutation of P53 gene, it can cause stop the cell cycle, it can cause repair of the cell and cell cycle, and it can destruction of the cell. So here we can see this is the P53 gene. It can growth arrest. That means when there is problem or when there is abnormalities, what it can do, it can stop the cell cycle. And here we can see in the cell cycle there is S phase. So when there is the problem is in the S phase, then it stop the S phase, and when there is problem in M phase, in this condition is stop the M phase. On the other hand, it causes apoptosis. So what is apoptosis? Apoptosis is the programmed cell death. That means it is the death of the cell, but it is body's own need and it is programmed. And here we can see the P53 gene, it activates different type of genes such as the BAX, alpha P, cyto-C, alpha 1 and cascade 9, and finally apoptosis. And apoptosis is a process for destruction or destroy the cell. The P53 gene, it is a tumor suppressor gene. That means it has the anti-tumor activity, and its location is the chromosome number 17p. That means the long arm, short arm 13, and first discovered in 1979. P53 protein is product of P53 gene, and it is located almost wall of the tissue, and it is unstable and degraded very quickly. So what is the function of this P53 gene? It can regulate the cell cycle. Also, it can DNA repair and apoptosis or cell death. So when there is no possibilities to repair of the cell in this condition, P53 what does? It causes cell death by apoptosis. So cell death by apoptosis, and it also prevents the neoplastic formation. So when DNA cannot be repaired, it will be induce cellular destruction by the apoptosis, not by the necrosis, because the necrosis is not the normal way for P53 gene. So which is not true or which is false regarding the P53 gene? It may induce necrosis. This necrosis is not true because it is the apoptosis. It is the apoptosis. Other options here, it can affect Lee-Romanes syndrome. Actually, the P53, it can affect any type of syndrome in our body. It can induce DNA repair, it can halt the cycle, and it can inhibit angiogenesis. It can inhibit any type of the growth. So what is false regarding the P53 gene? Here, this is not necrosis. Actually, this is apoptosis.